Hi everybody. So recently I've gotten off trail temporarily to take care of some foot problems. I've actually gone off two times. I will make a separate video explaining the zeros that I've taken for fun basically, and those have been few, and the other ones that I've taken for longer periods of time because of my foot, mainly because of plantar fasciitis. And so today I went to the podiatrist. It took me a while to be able to get these appointments. I had to go to the VA clinic, and then they went to urgent care. They referred me to the ER doc for certain things, and they set up an appointment for podiatry. So it took a little bit of time, longer than I would have liked. I should have done that in the first set of days that I took off because of this plantar fasciitis, because obviously resting it and doing the exercises at home didn't really take care of the problem. So hopefully this did, and I found it pretty much, I find it pretty fitting to do a shoe discussion about the shoes that I have worn, how I felt about these shoes, and how I kind of progressed along the way, my thoughts on different kinds of shoes. Having said that, I also would like to say that back in 2015 is when I returned to hiking from cycling. I used to do a lot of cycling. For a while I didn't do either one of them. Back in the 80s I did a lot of cycling, also hiking. In the 90s as well, some hiking, and in between both of those. And then I stopped for a while. But anyway, 2015, Olive Oil and I went really pretty much made hiking our go-to hobby, fitness, enjoyment type of activity, apart from going to the gym, which we haven't gone in a while. COVID and heart attack and all that stuff. Anyway, having said that, let me go on with the shoes. Okay, so in 2015, I went to a Dick's Sporting Goods and I purchased some New Balance shoes. They were very inexpensive. I remember they cost me like $40 something. And Olive Oil also got herself some very inexpensive shoes, and we hiked in those. And right away I felt that they weren't very comfortable. I was getting some blisters, and I just felt that I needed to get something better. So the next shoe that I got was a Salomon XA Pro 3D. That was back in 2016. I still have those shoes. They became my gardening shoes. They no longer have any tread. They already have ripped a little bit. They're out in the backyard with the gardening stuff. They don't really have any tread or anything. I just use them for, like I said, gardening. And they worked very well. I used them, I would say, it was all day hikes and overnighters. Sometimes it was a couple of nights, but that was about it. No section hike, no through hike, or little parts of sections, but I would just call them overnighters. And so I did that. I then, when I got onto the Salomon XA Pro 3D, Olive Oil went into Salomon X Ultra, I believe it is. It was also a Salomon that she still has, but she has also changed and evolved with shoes. The XA Pro 3D, they have a 10, I believe those were 10 millimeter stack, or should I say drop, and the newer ones are 11. I know that because I recently purchased some size 11. I used 11 and a half because they only had 11. That was a mistake. I had to turn those back in, and I got 11 and a half, and I just found that I didn't really like how they fit me. Even though they were wide. And I wanted to get a higher drop than a 5 millimeter, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So I turned those Salomons back in, and I no longer have those except for my 2016 set of XA Pro 3Ds. Some people on trail, they love them, and I can see why. I did like them when I was using them at first. Now, the second pair of shoes were these guys right here. This is my second pair of these. These are Keen Targi 2 waterproof mid-size mid-boot. And these I purchased in 2018. In late 2016, I had some other ones of these that are already, they didn't last very much. These have a sole. The insole is called sole. I got these at REI. Even though they are 5 years old already, they're still pretty good. And these shoes are the ones that I started my PCT with. These are, I really like the way they fit. They come in a wide. I have a wide shoe. They come in a wide. I like the way they fit. I don't have the data as far as the shoe drop, but I never had any kind of problem with these. And the reason why I changed these out, though I can still use them on the trail, on the PCT, they started to have some cracks in them. And like I said, they're already like 3 years old. But doing day hikes, you don't put that many miles on them, and overnighters, you don't put that many miles on them. So I can still use these, and I probably will in another situation. But the comfort level of these are, for me, they're very comfortable. They're stiff enough where they're not going to cause me a lot of problems. I did learn by talking to the podiatrist and doing some research online that having some kind of stiffness, unlike what I used to think that a shoe should be, is very flexible. But when you're carrying 30 pounds on your back and you're hiking day after day after day after day, 24 miles, 20 miles, whatever it might be, 10 miles, your plantar fascia and the other muscles are not going to be able to absorb everything, so you need a shoe that can assist. So this one does a pretty good job. I did end up with a blister before I got to Mount Laguna, and these are waterproof, and it was already warming up in those days, and that would be early April to mid-April, I think. Yeah. And I got in the first 42 miles, within the first 42 miles, I got a blister in my left, the ball of my foot, right around the middle toe, in that area. And I resolved it by the time I got to Lake Morena with wound care. Right? I'm a nurse, so I did wound care on myself. People are very good at doing wound care. Hikers are excellent doing wound care, especially once they have more experience. So I got that taken care of, and I found that my feet sweat a lot more with these because these are not breathable at all. They're very good for shallow creeks that you're gonna go across. You can just walk in them. I could just walk in them and I don't have a problem at all. But they don't breathe very much. Feet are a little sweaty, and that friction, weight on an area, and also moisture can be a cause of blisters. So I decided to change these out. Still gonna keep them, still gonna use them, just not on this through hike, unless perhaps in the Sierra maybe, if I want a waterproof shoe for the snow, but I kind of doubt it. Okay, that's if I make it. Hopefully this issue with the plantar fasciitis was resolved today, and I found out tomorrow. Hopefully. And I will continue hiking and just taking care of my foot as I go. So those were the Keen Target 2 waterproof. You guys heard about a guy named John King? Sanjacjon.com. SANJACJON.com. That's the San Jacinto Water Report. I met him on a trail once and we were discussing these because at that time he had Keen Target. This was back in 2018. He had the Keen Target, I don't remember what it was, 2s, but he was wearing the Keen Target 2s. I was wearing these, and we were discussing about how well I liked them, how much he liked them, and he's used these for a long time. He may have changed that by now, I don't know. We're over in 2021. I've only seen him one other time, and that was over in Nomad Ventures when he was assisting over there, but I have not personally seen him or spoken with him. I have emailed a couple of times, but that's just part of his videos. So yeah, Keen Target 2. Very comfortable shoe, waterproof, And I am a firm believer that if you are going to do a day hike or an overnight hike and you know where you are going to go, supposing I'm going to go, I've done a video on this and I've hiked this several times. Supposing I'm going to go and do a hike in the spring where it may or may not rain, it may or may not snow, from Paradise Valley Cafe out to Mary's Place, which is basically like an 8-mile hike, something like that. I know where I'm going to go, and I know I plan on coming back. I know the trail conditions. If it's going to rain or snow, I'm going to take those boots instead of a ventilated shoe or boot, because I'm not going that far, and they're comfortable. And if there are little streams, things that form from water just going down the side, I'll step on those and just walk over them like nothing. And then when I come back, same thing. Okay, so if you get a ventilated shoe and it starts raining on you, starts pouring on you, your feet are gonna get wet. I don't want my feet wet, especially if I'm just gonna do a 16-mile hike. 8 one way, 8 the other way. I know where I'm gonna go. I'll wear those. Okay. Can't really do that on a through hike though, even on a section hike, long section hike, because you have to carry what you have to carry. And so one pair of shoes normally when you do. So anyway, that's a different story. Then after the King Target 2, I started using, I believe, I did get into a trail runner, and it was this one right here. I don't know if you guys recognize this. La Sportiva Wildcat. Two videos I think I've used these on from the R videos. One of them was when we went to Devil's Post Pile, Rainbow Falls, and Lower Falls over in the Sierra on a day hike. Again, on a day hike. It was in the I don't remember if it was late summer or it was in August, I believe. So it was still late summer. There was no rain. There was snow, but it was way up high, not anywhere where I was going to go to. It was going to be a day hike. I think we did a total of maybe 9 or 10 miles, something like that. And these are very comfortable. They grip very well. These are the older model. I don't believe that they have these anymore. I couldn't find the data on what the foot drop was on this either. They're comfortable. One of the drawbacks for me is that I have a wide foot. La Sportiva doesn't make, or at least didn't back then. I don't know about now. They didn't make a wide shoe. It's all narrow, just regular size, should I say. And for me, it's kind of narrow, and on day hike, that's fine. But if I'm going to be putting more weight day after day after day, these are too tight for me. Nice shoe. I highly recommend looking into them. I believe the newer models have had some changes. I'm going to leave that up to you to, if you want to try these out, to do that, to check those out. But I found these, except for the fact that they're not wide, very comfortable, very good grip. My feet didn't sweat in them very much, and no blisters the times that I have used them. So I used them on that. As far as videos, that one, and also I did one up in Palmer Mountain. I believe it's called Search for the Lost Tree or something like that. Up in I believe it was Bossier Loop. And it was one of the Palmer Mountain ones. I used that too. At that time, again, day hikes. I knew where I was going to be. There was no rain, nothing, so I used those. Yeah, this one, it's going to end up being not so much of a hiking shoe, but it's going to end up being another shoe that I will use when I go to the store or whatever, walk around town, and just wherever. Maybe turn into another gardening shoe. I don't know. But I think the hiking days for these are over now. There is one thing that I would like for you guys to notice. You see how the laces are up on top? I didn't cross them here, and you guys have probably seen that. I've used this for shoes that are narrow, and it whitens them up a little bit, and it feels pretty comfortable. So that's a suggestion. You can look up on Google different ways of lacing shoes up for different purposes, and you can find this other ways of doing it. So anyway, yeah, La Sportiva Wildcat. I really like this shoe. Just that it's not wide enough for me for extended use. Okay. After that, I did buy an Ultra Temp when the Temps first came out, and I tried them for about 3 months, and I bought them from REI, and I didn't like it. I don't like the zero drop. I just didn't get used to it, and perhaps I didn't give it enough time. I did hear a lot of complaints from people out on trail, because the times that we do hike, a lot of times that we do hike in the area, we often go to the PCT and just do 5 miles here, 5 miles there, wherever, down Hauser Canyon, over Mary's Place, up San Jacinto, over by Big Bear, just different areas, over by Cajon Pass, and those areas, just Peyton Powell, all these places, and we see hikers out there. One of the things that people often complain about was you can peel every single rock, and they're not for everybody. But then again, none of these shoes are for everybody. Yeah, that's why I have so many, because it took me a while to say, hey, I like this, I don't like that. Okay, going on to my next shoe. These are the Hoka One. They're not Hoka 1-1. I called them Hoka 1-1s for I don't know how long. I was told these are the Challenger ATR 5, and you can get the ATR 6 now. These are 5mm drop, and I used them for hiking one time, and I can't really. I don't think I even made a video. I don't think so. And I used them hiking in an area where I used to live in Escondido. It's called Daly Ranch. You can do up to 20 miles in that. Anywhere from the lowest one that I did there, the short is a mile and a half. Longer ones are probably around 50 or so. But you can go all over the place like a noodles and do close to 20 miles. These here are extremely comfortable, and these are my shoes that I use for work. What I did not like about these Hoka Challengers, and I did meet somebody on trail, Israeli is his trail name. No, he's not from Israel, but that's his name, trail name. And he was wearing those, and his girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure, hippie, hi guys, she was wearing the Speed Goats. And this one here is super comfortable. I mean, it floats, and for me, it's a little bit too comfortable for the trail. I like to have a little bit more stability. He is like very light, very thin. I am kind of heavy set. I'm kind of short. Right now I'm probably weighing about 185 pounds. When I got off trail the first time, I think I went down to 173. But I typically go anywhere from about 180 to 190 pounds. And I'm 5'6". And so this shoe is super comfortable. I take it out every day to the store, wherever I'm going to wear it around town. At work, I'm a nurse, walking all day long, but I don't carry a lot of weight on me. And I don't go over rocks or anything like that. It's a standard floor. For me, this is the best work shoe I've ever had. I love it. Challenger ATR 5. Just that it's not for me for the trail. And then I'll discuss a couple of things a little bit later about the 5mm drop. Okay. Here they are. And I still use all these. I'm not going to go out and buy new ones, just buy them for whatever. I got shoes. Okay. So then, I got those. I can't tell you exactly when I got them. I believe it was sometime in late 2019, early 2020, I'm guessing. Not really sure. Next ones that I bought, because I wanted to try something. I like the idea of this shoe right here. This shoe is a Topo. Topo, I found out recently, it stands for the founder of this company, Tony, and his last name starts with P.O. So he just kind of shortened it, and they're called Topo shoes. And somebody's walking in here and says, "Oh, well, hi, Well. You want to say hi to everybody?" Just don't touch that thing, otherwise I have to reset it.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Please don't touch that. I don't know if they can see you or not. But anyway, yeah, she's my better half of the channel. She's not on the PCT with me right now. Yeah, Topo Ultra Ventures. Another very popular Topo is a Topo Terra Venture. That has a 3mm drop. I wanted something a little bit higher because of the experience that I had with the Ultras. I really didn't like it. And it could have been because in 1986 I broke my right ankle. And I can't tell you anymore if it was ligaments. I remember that word ligament coming around. It was more than one. I was playing racquetball. I used to play tournaments in racquetball. And it broke my inner bone of the ankle. And it was either ligaments or tendons. I'm not really sure, but it was more than one. And I still to this day will occasionally get some little bit of pain in a certain area that I know I had way back when. And that could be part of the cause of why I have a plantar fasciitis, because maybe my foot is not, it's not turned just the right way after it was reset or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Has a Vibram sole. This one here, yeah, I'm not sure which one of these Topo insoles it came with, but it came with one of them. I've been kind of using my on my Topo shoe. I can put whatever in there. And the reason for that is because, okay, this shoe though, it doesn't come in a wide, but it kind of has a wide toe box, just naturally wide toe box. So that's one of the things that made me want to like it. And again, you guys maybe can see how I got the laces here, because it still was a little bit too tight for me, and that's another reason why I chose not to go with this shoe as far as a through hiking shoe. It does have a 5mm drop. It's almost new. I will wear it. It might turn into a gardening shoe. I don't know what's going to happen with it. I'll find out after I come back from the PCT whether it's going to be doing the whole thing or whether it's going to be whatever, how far I can get and then stopping. I don't know. Nobody really knows. It's too long of a hike and too difficult of a hike for anybody to say, yes, I know I'm going to finish it. You know, some people have a better chance of doing it than others, but that's a different story. Do I like these shoes? Yeah, I like them. And again, shoes are very subjective. If you have a thinner foot and you're a lighter person, this might be the shoe for you. I don't feel that comfortable with this shoe. And so, kind of like the Salomon X8 Pro 3D that I got the second time, not the original time. Then again, I was comparing that with a very not a very good New Balance shoe. New Balance has one called a Hero, and it's wonderful as far as I tried it on. I didn't buy it. I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. So, Vibram sole. I like this, but again, I don't like it enough to be able to carry 30 pounds on my back and go miles and miles and miles and miles. It wasn't that comfortable. There was something that just didn't feel right about it. So this is not a shoe that I'm using for this trail. Am I going to use it? Yeah. When? I don't know. It all depends on what trail I'm going to go on. Topo Ultra Venture. I do like it, but it's not the one. It's not my go-to shoe for the PCT. Next door neighbor, you know. But okay, moving on. These guys right here, Topo Trail Venture. ventilated. The Topo Trail Venture ventilated and the Topo Trail Venture waterproof, as far as I'm concerned, are two completely different shoes. I've tried both of them on. The waterproof shoe does not feel anything like this shoe. I would not, for me, I would not get the waterproof one because it just doesn't feel right to me. I didn't like the way it felt. This shoe is very light. I've put over 300 miles on this shoe this year on the PCT. This is one of the problems right here that I'm told. I was just told today by a podiatrist, and I've been told by other people, and I've seen videos. It just flexes too easily, and it doesn't give my plantar fascia enough support. It's a very light shoe, very comfortable shoe. Again, I don't think that Topo come in a white, but this is a white. It has a very white toe box. This is such a comfortable shoe for me. I was praising this to no end. Did this cause my plantar fascia? I'll never know. I don't know if it was just the overuse, because there are overuse injuries. Not stretching enough. Did that earlier injury that I have to my ankle, did that cause it? I don't know. I cannot blame this shoe for it. However, I have been told that unlike an Ultra, which is a 0 drop, a 5mm drop is slower than anything that I've used in the past. So it could very well have had something to do with it. I'm not going to sit here and blame this shoe. I love this shoe. I highly recommend it for you, especially if you're not going to be carrying 30 pounds on your back. If you're going to be doing day hikes or whatever. Maybe through hikes too. I don't know. Some people, like I said, everybody's different. Tons of people out there with ultras, and they're doing just fine. And I've also known some that have gone off trail because of ultras. I'm thinking of somebody right now that I know. She lives in Texas. I'm not going to mention any names. Not going to be a name dropper for these things because I don't, you know. But yeah, she says the ultras wiped her feet up. I don't know. That's what I was told. So like I said, some people love ultras, and good for them. There's a couple of very popular YouTubers that use them, and they love those things. So this is one about me, personally me. Topo. This is not an Ultra, this is a Topo. Yeah, this thing was really nice. Comfortable shoe. And it does have a Vibram sole. It's not one of those that you can feel, even though it's so light. It's one of the lightest ones out here. I mean, I compare it to some of these trail runners that I've been using. And this is lighter than some of these. This is a very light shoe. Vibram sole. This one in the first 50 miles, but then again the trail, you know, I mean, this trail's been overgrown and everything, and rocks started falling apart right here. So the material are not as strong as, say, for example, these guys here, the Keen Target 2, but then again this thing weighs probably almost twice as much as this one over here. So weight does matter. But yeah, fantastic shoe. And I can't blame it for my plantar fasciitis. But I can't rule it out either, because I don't know. Okay. Man, I wish I didn't have this plantar fasciitis. This is a shoe I would still have. And I was even searching, just looking into, the Triple Crown Outfitters have them, won't carry them over in Kennedy Meadow South, because I knew that by the time I get there, I'm gonna need more, and I was gonna call Yogi and say, hey Yogi, do you guys have these shoes? But I just looked up on their website, and yes, they carry them. So if you want to give them a go, yeah, I was gonna do that, but like I said, because of my plantar fasciitis, I don't know if this is part of the cause, but I'm not gonna take that risk. That plantar fasciitis has ended through hikes for a lot of people, and that along with Achilles tendonitis and broken bones. So I'm not going to take that chance. Topo trail adventure. I really like it. For me. Okay? Somebody might not like it. So, when I got back and I said to myself, you know what, from talking with different people, and they were telling me it might be that 5mm drop. It might be because you're not used to it. I don't know. I don't know. So I decided, you know what, I got to give something else a try. There were people that were telling me I had a 0 drop and my plantar fascia was hurting so much. I got to a higher shoe. One of them was a XA Pro 3D. Solomon. I put this shoe in, problem solved. And somebody else told me there was something very similar. They put another shoe, problem solved. There was a kid, I'm going to call him a kid, young man, that I hiked with for a short little while. He's 18 years old. Yeah, I didn't ask him if I could mention his name, so even his travel name. So I'm not going to. But he was, over at Mission Spring Camp, he slept right next to me. He got on there a little bit later. Next day, he was out. He was very fast hiker, hiked a lot of miles. And then later on, I caught up with him. And I'm going, whoa, I'm a slow hiker. My step is slow, is short, because my inseam is kind of short. And I just go slower. I look at other people and they're like, me, I'm like, yeah, whatever, just enjoy the view, get to where I'm going. I know where I want to get to. I know the miles I want to put out, and I feel in my body. Sometimes feeling your body, we kind of say that to ourselves, but even though we feel it, we also feel it hurt, and we kind of rationalize, kind of say, yeah, I know it's going to hurt. It's supposed to hurt. We're out here, so it's going to hurt. But I don't then start thinking it's hurting because I have plantar fasciitis. I didn't associate the two. I just said, hey, my feet are just tired and hurting. Anyway, long story short, caught up with him and I asked him what's going on, what's going on, and he told me, he says, my Achilles tendon is killing me. Did he have ultras? I believe he did. Yeah, he did. Is that the problem? I don't know. But it could have been just the amount of miles he was doing. He was very light, 18 years old, so heal quick. Mile 250, by where the zoo is at, he got off trail. There's a little road, not too far, that can take you to the highway. And he hitched into Big Bear, he went to ER, he ended up taking some time off, and he got new shoes. And he had his foot taped, he had all that stuff. I actually caught up with it on my first time that I had to get off trail. I went over to Wrightwood to pick something up that I had sent over there. And not only that, but also I wanted to see if there were any hikers over there. And I drove with olive oil and just to give hitches to people or whatever I could help with. And I ended up giving hitches to him and another person that I have hiked with for a short while with, and another person I gave a hitch to at 2 different times in the same day. And I was like, whoa, how did you get all the way over here? And he said, well, I got here and this is what happened to me. And he ended up buying this shoe right here. I tried the Solomon 11, size 11 wide, 11 and a half wide. I went back to try the Speed Goat because the Speed Goat feels different than the Challenger. For me, it's more of a hiking shoe than the Challenger is. The lady at REI even told me that's a road shoe, not a hiking shoe, not a trail shoe. I don't know if that's true or not. But I do feel that might be the case with the Challenger, although, like I said, somebody out there, Israeli, he uses that shoe and he loves it. So it depends on what you want. This shoe right here, I remember I was tossing, it was a toss-up for me between it wasn't no longer the XA Pro 3D, and it was a toss-up between the New Balance Hero, H-I-E-R-R-O, Hierro in Spanish, which means iron, I don't know, that stands for Iron Man or something like that, but it's anyway, it's Hero. Hero, whatever you want to pronounce it. It was a toss up between that one. It had pretty much all the things that I wanted in a shoe. It came in a wide, had the right drop, it was lace, everything. I couldn't find it anywhere except for online, and I'm not going to buy a shoe that I don't try on. Unless I've already tried it on and I no longer use it, and I want to get one exactly the same size, same brand and model. Like in the case what I was going to do with the Topo Trail Venture. This one here is the Brooks Cascadia 15. 24 stack millimeter on the back, 16 on the front, which gives it an 8mm drop, 3 millimeters higher than the 5mm on the Topo, not quite as big as the XA Pro 3D. It comes in a wide. It has this little thing here for the gaiters, and it also has another one here on the front for the gaiters to hook up. It also has this little elastic thing here where you can get the laces and put them under there. Just kind of keeps them tucked away. And of course, if you have a gaiter, that's going to keep it tucked away. It has a rock plate. Challengers do not have a rock plate. I'm not sure the Topos Ultra Ventures do or not. I believe these guys do. Topo Trail Venture. I like the lug pattern. It is not a Vibram, but it is a very I bought it just a couple of days ago, and I've already done some short little hikes here just to try it out. It's 11.5, which is what I wear. It's a little tighter than I would like. However, most shoes, except for the Target Keen 2 and also the Topo Trail Ventures, they a little bit more loose on the toe box than even these guys are, even though they're wide. But I think they're good enough for me, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to just loosen up a little bit. They feel good. They feel very comfortable. They don't feel like the Challengers where they feel like they're floating and give me that sense of instability. They give me the sense of stability, and I can tighten them up, and I feel very comfortable with the shoe. They're also very light. I don't have my scale. Maybe I do. Ow! I got the shot today for my plantar fascia, and where they shot me hurts. They injected me. I probably should have weighed everything, but I didn't. So, just to give you guys a weight. Brooks Cascadia 15, 11.5 wide, 12.5 ounces. Trail Venture Topo 11.5. There's a boot. 12.8 ounces. So 0.3 of an ounce difference between these two. Not bad for the Topo, huh? Challenger 11.5, 10.3. Keen Target 2, oh boy. 1 pound 4 ounce. Topo Ultra Venture 10.9 ounces. So Topos are very light. For me, this Brooks Cascadia is good enough. I don't have a problem with the weight. So anyway, that's shoes. I think this video is going to be a little long, and I do apologize for that, but I wanted to do this video. Inserts. I think I showed you the insert for the it was called Soul, the one for the Keen Target 2. One of the things that I found, I have super feet, and I started getting super feet after my issues with plantar fasciitis on this hike. Before that, I was using this on my Keen boot, and I continued using these. I switched them over into my Topo Trailblazer up until I got this problem. I started feeling the problem with the plantar fasciitis sometime between the I-10, which is mile 209, and Big Bear, which is mile 266 at the I-18 junction. And then after Big Bear, it just started getting worse and worse. Anyway, I'll make a different video on zeros, where I've taken and why I've taken. These here are Super Feet Trailblazers. They have a little gel in the back. One of the things that I didn't look at, I was not told when I purchased these, the thickness right here is pretty important, because if your shoe, if it fits, it has a perfect fit, and you get something like this, the volume is going to go way down because of what you have here in the front. It's thick. But this is a pretty good the Trailblazer. It does bend down a little easier than the sole, even though the sole is already 5 years old. Trailblazer. Yeah, I mean, this is the first one that I tried, and then I found it was a little tight, and then later on, when I was told that maybe my insole wasn't holding my shoe up, or my foot up. I'm doing the PCT. I'm doing everything that I can to stay on trail. I'm working it the best that I can. I'm not going to just stop and say, okay, I can't do it anymore because I got pain. I'm going to try to mitigate that pain. Okay, so this right here, Trailblazer, not quite as strong over here. One thing that I did find is when you use something, say for example this Topo, I just have this, happen to have this, not because of this Topo. Most of them are like this. I mean, really? Most that come in with shoes are like this. Okay, this part's over here, I mean, they don't, these guys here, they kind of, the rubber, they're very stiff. Make sure that when you put them in your shoe, that this part here contacts the whole bottom of your shoe, not where it ends up like at one side. Make sure that it goes all the way down. Get in there and look and do your best to find it. Stick your finger way inside, see if you can feel if there's any room between, after you cut them, if you cut them, see if you can feel between the tip of the shoe and the insole, because if they do, they can slide around a little bit. And all these things matter when it comes to putting the miles out there for 6 months or 5 months or 4 months, whatever you do. Okay, so the first one I went off and purchased was the Super Feet Green. This one is really stiff on the back, high arch, the highest they have. And if you were to look, there is a big difference in, they're not that big of a difference, but there is a difference in the thickness of the front. This one's stiffer. Okay. Oh, what is that?
The t-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Can you? Yeah, go ahead and give it to her. I'll be there in a little bit. We bought our daughter she bought a truck, a big, huge truck, and she's like my height. And we made her a shirt that says, "Yes, I'm a girl. Yes, this is my truck. No, you can't ride it. No, you can't drive it." We're gonna give it to her right now. Anyway, that's beside the point. Stiff. Kind of stiff. not so stiff. This is the same one as that one is the Trailblazers. This is again is the green super feet. Super feet. They're green, but they call it Trailblazers. So this one has all lines in the middle of it. Next one I went ahead and bought. Look at how thin that is right there. When I changed from the green to the blue, stiff, pretty stiff. You know, all of them you can bend, but give it a little bit more support. And again, this is pretty stiff here in the back. Compare how they fit, how they look, how they fit. They push all the way inside. I settled for the blue. There's another one that I was going to go to. It's called the carbon. I don't think it's carbon fiber. It's because it is a carbon color, and that one is very, very, very thin. It still has, however, the support. I was almost going to get that one, but I wanted what I thought would be maximum support without taking up so much room inside your shoe. So when you go out and buy insoles, do yourself a favor. Don't just go to the person at whatever store you're at. Say, hey, I need this. Oh, okay. Go get the Trailblazer from Superfeed. There you go. This is the one that everybody gets. Can you tell me something about it? It's an insole. It's pretty good. Get it. No. Find out how thick it is, how strong it is, how flexible it is. Does it go all the way down to the bottom of your shoe? Does it fit your foot? Put your foot on top of it. Does your foot expand outside of it? Inside of it? Some of this information I got from the podiatrist today. Some of the information I got from doing my own research and finding out that, hey, I mean, look how many I bought. I went to Trailblazer because somebody said, yeah, get this one, that's what everybody uses. Okay. Then I had my concerns about it. And then I went with the green because I have more, maximum support with Superfeet. Well, my shoe ended up being very tight. Why? Well, because thicker. Oh, really? They come in different thicknesses. Wow, I didn't know that. So that's where I ended up with the blue. Okay. This has been a lengthy video, and I do apologize for talking a lot, but I thought I would give you the progression of shoes that I had, the importance of finding a shoe that fits you, that you like, and you might not find out for a while. But for me, comfort, stability, weight, and whether it's waterproof or not. I tend to lean toward ventilated on a through hike, and I tend to lean to waterproof on a day hike. As long as I know where I'm going to be hiking, that's the important thing too. So I don't think that I would own one set of shoes and that's it. You know, have different ones. Anyway, I've talked long enough. I doubt that I'm going to edit this down very much. My next video that I want to talk about is going to be about the zeros. Okay, and the zeros that I've taken, the ones that I've taken because I wanted to stay in the town that I was in, or I wanted to come home, or Oliver wanted me to come home, and also the difference between coming home and taking a zero at a place in a town that's not home, and also the zeros that I've taken because of injury. Okay, so I'll make that another video. The reason why I'm doing that is because there was one, I believe, of the viewers of our channel, and thank you everybody for watching. She said, I want to know where your zeros, where you take zeros, or what you did. Unfortunately, I didn't really film too much. I think the only one that I filmed was Idlewild, and I probably would have filmed more if I was in an area outside of where I live, but I've been to Idlewild a million times, and Julian a million times, Small Laguna, Big Bear. You know, so I probably should have videoed. I should have been a little bit more thoughtful and videoed some of those towns. But I'll just kind of tell you where I went, how many days I stayed, and the ones about home. All right, thank you very much. I apologize for making this kind of long, but I don't see how I could have cut it down. All right, thank you.